sitting here drinking some scotch. We're ready to go. We are live.
What? I'm drinking tonight? Are you telling me we're drinking? I'll pull out the liquor cabinet right now if I need to.
No one wants to drink Nikolai, Trevor.
I said pull out the liquor cabinet. What the fuck are you talking about?
Not your hand sanitizer closet.
Oh, you think I have all vodka in there? Really? The first thing I'm looking at is some Crown Apple and Bird Dog Apple.
Listen, Bird Dog's not bad. We're
What
live,
Crown?
though.
What about Bailey's, dog? You don't fuck with Bailey's? Are you kidding me?
I don't drink that shit.
Oh, you are fucking whack. You're a whack job.
All right.
You hear yourself?
Okay.
Stick with your fucking PBRs and Coors Lights and stay away from the good shit like Bailey's. Leave more for me.
Yeah. Okay, buckaroo. Okay. All right, let me just make sure chat's going. What's up, Darth Colin? How's it going, Colin? What up, what up? Thanks for joining us.
Darth Colin, a real one. Darth Colin, a real one. Shout out Darth Colin.
Let me know how we sound. We should be good to go. All right, everyone. We'll get this thing started. I got a couple of viewers on stream. Got a special guest today for y'all. We're going to be breaking down some Week 2 NFL action. We have a segment called New Year. Who's going to have the better season? And then, as always, we'll get Trevor's rapid gambling addiction shown off in Week 3 when we pick some games. So,
naturally,
I think that's how we're going. What up, D-Man? D-Man, Dark Colin. What up, what up? Special guest today is Milkman. You can find him as the beautiful Kokamish. The Milkman 145. You'll love to see it. Welcome to the podcast, Milky. All right.
How you guys doing today?
Doing good.
Sounds
Milky's
good.
here to stabilize our bad takes and have some balance, you know?
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful.
You love shitting on bad takes.
I don't think I have visuals for Week 2 storylines, so they're just going to have to digest it in an audio format of what we talked about before.
They can deal with that.
Right. Jeez, it still sounds like Trevor's screaming. Don't worry.
Does it sound like
I'll adjust you on my side. Don't worry. All right. So, Week 2 storylines. What do you got for us, Trevor? What do you want to start with?
Well, I mean, I was just going to rattle off every game quickly. I mean, the games that don't interest us, we can fucking just skip over, you know? I guess we can start off with Thursday night. I mean, we all watch this game. It was prime time. Usually NFC East disappoints, you know? Usually NFC East is like, fuck, why are they on? You know, you guys know I'm a Giants fan, so I was actually at this game in FedEx Field.
Yeah.
Drove up there.
Tough.
It was about a 4-hour drive for me from Virginia. With my friends. One's a Washington fan. It was a fun time. Disappointing considering we had the game in wraps. Also, could have profited like $160 that night, but you know, it's fine. It's fine. Good game. Surprisingly, both defenses like shit. Daniel Jones had the best game of his career, and there's really nothing else you can say from that except both teams really walked away with negatives. If I'm being honest with you, you know. You come away more pessimistic about both teams than you did optimistic. I know you're a big Washington guy before the season. I'm wondering what you think of Washington.
Big Washington guy. Big Washington guy, except for this week when they play the Bills. I still think they got some magic in there at the quarterback position. You know, you got to witness the Heineke firsthand. I had a very outlandish take, but I still think Heineke. You know, he's good for a division. But good job, Daniel Jones. You might as well hear me clip that now. I'm giving Daniel Jones some credit on the pod as much as I like to be the anti-Daniel Jones guy.
Chat, clip it.
He played well. As ugly as that game was, it reminded me that the NFC East is still the NFC least. God bless. Good job, Heineke. He's got some magic in him.
Don't forget, Heineke is ODU blood. You know, Old Dominion.
That's
all my
right.
friends there are going to the game with me are from Old Dominion too. So it was some cool shit happening in the FedEx Field.
Yep. Anything else to talk about? Gas your Giants up.
I've got nothing else to say.
Okay. Other games.
Bengals Bears.
Yeah, no one cares about that.
Yeah, I'm skipping over that. That was awful.
We can skip over all the 1:00 games except The Rams pulled it out versus the Colts. 49ers look trash. Josh Allen destroyed the Dolphins. Broncos look
notable, the
decent.
Rams fucked over parlays for me and Milky. So fuck Rams on gang.
Fuck the Rams on gang.
How about this one though? Raiders, Steelers, the John Gruden Raiders, huh? How about them Raiders, baby? How about them Raiders, baby?
Oh yeah, Raiders looking good. What do you guys think about Derek Carr? I mean, he hasn't been perfect, but he's been better than past seasons. He's been pretty damn good.
He's been winning some games, man. And listen too, it's not like the Steelers are world beaters. That's how much of a meme it was week 1 that the Steelers beat the Bills. But like Big Ben is, come on now, he's been playing through that injury. He's hurt. That offense is ridiculous.
Out of the quote from the Steelers fan himself, Madrid, Big Ben is cooked.
Yeah,
and I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, it's clear. Even if you watch the game versus the Bills, I mean, all of his chunk plays happened on PIs, like just underthrowing guys. Just he's just still not good at it all, and they can't run the ball. And they drafted a running back rather than drafting good O linemen. Like their offensive line, I think, is 2 rookies, a second-year player, and then like 2 journeymen and Trey Turner. So.
Yeah. Hey, Ram Ranch, if you're listening, that's not how you build a run game. You need an O-line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or you could just be the Bills and just don't care about running the ball. That works too.
Yep. I mean,
you have Josh Allen. You're good for it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the most impressive takeaway from the Raiders game, though, was the fact that Derek Carr had Darren Waller taken away for most of the game, but he actually went other places with the ball, hit Henry Ruggs downfield a couple times. I mean,
good to see him balling out, man.
That Raiders pass rush actually looks like a thing now.
Yeah, man.
Game chasing after you is scary. I can say that for sure.
At the beginning of the year, if you saw the Raiders on the schedule, you were probably like, it's the Raiders. Now,
listen, man,
that's thinking a little differently about that.
Yeah, man, they keep it up. They're fighting for a playoff spot. I think they got enough talent on that team. And I mean, John Gruden as GM is not great. But John Gruden as a coach is not terrible.
He's a damn good offensive mind.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, he's going to get the most out of Derek Carr. I like Gruden, big Gruden guy. How about it? John Gruden's Raiders. We'll see. They're good for winning a random game versus the Chiefs this year too. Like it's going to happen. The Chiefs
these first 2 games, that wouldn't surprise me.
Oh yeah, they're good for it. Absolutely. Big Raiders win. I'm sure they screwed a lot of people over. Running
the
Steelers. What about them?
I said don't bet the Steelers.
No, I wouldn't bet nothing on the Steelers.
You should bet the Steelers game, bet the under. That's the only thing you should take.
Mm-hmm.
On God. But next game, the Saints-Panthers, man, that was, I think, the weirdest thing about this game. I think we expected the Panthers to be actually decent, but the Saints, after Jameis Winston threw 5 touchdowns week 1 and looked pretty good. Turnover free. He throws 2 picks and has 111 passing yards total the next game. I mean, man.
I mean, do you need any more Jameis Winston than that? 5 touchdowns, all-world quarterback, and then flat. As far as I know, they're all healthy right outside of Michael Thomas, right?
Correct.
Oof, yeah, it's not a good look. I mean, that's a talented team on offense, too. They still have 2 bookend tackles, good O-line. That team's got some talent on offense, too. It's not like Jameis. I mean, that team is just as talented as, the Buccaneers team Jameis had that he was slinging the rock around,
Yeah, I mean, he lacks the receiving talent, but I mean, he still has the line and the running game to propel him to do good stuff, especially with Sean Payton. But he just, what the fuck, man? This week 2, come on. Yeah, Milky.
Yeah. What are you thinking, Saints?
Okay. I mean, with Jameis as your quarterback, it's everyone knows it's a coin flip, so there's not much more to say about that.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Browns Texans. Skip. Okay.
I would say before you move on, if Tyrod Taylor was healthy, I would say the Texans are one of those teams that would sneak up on you and be a trap game. But now that he's hurt, it doesn't matter. So Yeah, skip.
Listen,
Side tangent,
he's
that's
not
why
a
you never
bad
bet
quarterback.
on,
He just doesn't have a really high ceiling. He has a high floor. He just, he doesn't have a high ceiling. You know, he's not going to win you games, but like one thing he does really well is not lose you games. And
You saw that firsthand,
right? Exactly.
But side tangent, that shows you why you should never bet on a spread like 16 fucking points. Like, are you out of your mind? Are you trying to lose
16
money?
points is a
NFL,
lot
this
in the
isn't
NFL.
college.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Takes on that. Vikings Cardinals.
Here you go, Milk.
Here you go, Mike. This is your shit.
I mean, I wasn't able to watch the game because I had other things going on, but I think I don't know who's going to disagree with me when I say this, that Kyler Murray is the MVP frontrunner through 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Cardinals probably should have lost that game, but the Vikings lost that game in possibly the most Vikings way possible.
Exactly.
Missing a chip shot field goal.
Yeah, I didn't even watch it. I just knew the memes from it. So,
I mean, Kirk Cousins looked good. Dalvin Cook looked good. But the more I watch, I know we're only 2 weeks in, but each week as I walk by and I watch the Cardinals offense, I only ever think of one thing. Last year, it was how the hell did we get DeAndre Hopkins for so little? This year, it's how the hell did we end up with Rondell Moore? It's perfect. I can't think of a more perfect scheme fit in that draft out of any team. It's just perfect.
Yeah,
it's
man.
Beautiful to watch.
I mean, he's got first round talent. Let's be real.
The only thing is if he stays healthy, it's
size and health. That's it.
You don't need size when you can run fast. That's all. I mean,
he's a pretty good ball player, man. Yeah,
pretty sure most people know that.
He played really well at Purdue. A lot of people will remember that big game he had where he literally beat Ohio State.
That's when he showed up.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I can't think of a much better combo. Really, he's a weapon. That's what he is. Kid plays well. How about them Cardinals, baby? I mean, this is more.
I mean, we started 2-0 last year. We all know the odds about teams starting 2-0 that are supposed to make the playoffs. It's like
expanded
70,
playoffs in the dogfight division.
Like 70-80% of the time. I mean, then again, everyone knows what division we play in.
Mm-hmm.
So somehow we managed.
That's the big problem.
That is the big problem.
They look really good. They looked incredible. And honestly, you couldn't ask for a better start. Honestly, Kyler looking MVP level quarterback.
Kyler looks like through 2 games he's taken that year 2 to year 3 jump, similar to what Josh Allen did last year through 2 games. Now it's only 2 games, but that's what it looks like so far.
Yeah, but the sky is endless with Kyler. It's just like these guys are talented, man. You know, they have it in them.
Team. Yeah, the time's got to be now.
Yeah, and I caught glimpses of it. The ghost of AJ Green. Where did that come from, man?
He's like I said. I don't know. You guys have probably heard it, but I said if we can get, let's say 10, 12 games out of AJ Green where he's just, 4 or 5 catches a day, let's say 50, 60 yards, that's great. It's fucking. We'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah, man. Yeah, he doesn't need to be a 1,500 yard receiver.
He's not AJ Green from 2016, but he's still AJ Green.
Yeah, man. He's
a beast.
What I mean? He's a beast.
Yeah, and
just another weapon.
Side, man, on the flip side with the Vikings, man. I mean, starting 0-2, you could be 2-0. I mean, the Bengals game is a game you should win. That's a game that Vikings always lose a game like that during their season. They should win that game. And the Cardinals game, that's a big tiebreaker, man. I had the Vikings doing pretty good this year, finishing out and beating out.
Yeah, I agree. The Vikings will be right there for fighting for the 6th and 7th seed. I think too. Well, it should be at least.
Right. Huge. It's huge. So. And starting 0-2, I mean, you could be 2-0. That's not only is that it's the worst start you can ask for.
That's demoralizing.
It's demoralizing.
Yeah, bad. Like the Vikings are so consistent, but they're so consistent at losing those games they should win too. Like they're pretty safe bet for a lot of things. It's just that ground game, man. That's so steady. But whatever. Vikings
When Kirk
choked.
Cousins, your quarterback, can't
Yeah.
ask for too much,
Yeah.
even though he played his ass off last week.
Yep.
Yeah.
We move. Next one up, Falcons Bucks. I caught a little bit of this game. The Buccaneers, man. That's all I have to
fucking
say.
Stink.
Yeah, Falcons
They might be
stink.
one
They'll
of the
get garbage
worst teams
time
in the
points.
NFL.
Fucking the Bucks they're gonna be a handful, man. That's all I have to say there. Titans Seahawks. OT game here. I know chat was clowning
everything.
Wealthy, but
Yeah.
Derrick Henry, he's a bad man. Julio, big couple weeks.
Julio was pretty quiet week 1, but
He had 6 for 128. Derrick Henry had 35 carries for 182.
I tell you what, man. Though I don't know about you guys. When this game finished, I still felt like the Titans lost. They played so bad like the first half, and they came back. But like when they're coming back, it was like a slow crawl. And I felt like both teams are playing to lose almost, and they got that penalty to help them actually
that's
get
that Pete Carroll mentality.
Yeah, it felt like
bro.
I didn't feel like there was a winner. You know,
I will go to my grave saying the Seahawks will never contend for another Super Bowl until Pete Carroll is no longer their coach.
I could see that.
Yeah, man.
I'll go to my grave saying that.
I just hate that, dude. That's how it's.
Without the Legion of Boom, the way Pete Carroll likes to run shit, just no.
Yeah, man. That's what's so frustrating to me. Not about the Seahawks, but the Bills too. I feel like we're playing not to lose. Like we're not the underdogs anymore.
So you give your fucking MVP candidate the ball.
Yeah, and let them make plays. That's why you have
them
them. You
cook.
pay them all that fucking money. Let them make plays. Exactly. Let them make plays.
There was that
dude.
whole let Russ cook movement, and they don't let him cook half the time.
No, they're still playing like he's the freaking scrappy underdog rookie quarterback with Marshawn Lynch and a good defense.
Yeah, they need to fix that.
Yeah.
I will say one positive though is Tyler Lockett is oh my god, man, he's
Machine.
looking as good as you can, and he was doing great last year, but he just kept it up and turned it up again this year.
He's
And
always
like,
been
He's
a
the
guy.
most underrated. He's probably the most
he's always
underrated
been a
receiver
guy.
in the league.
Mhm.
But if you ask the average NFL fan, Tyler Lockett, SDK's like number 2.
Mhm.
But like now,
I see it
they're, like,
twice a
they're
year.
on par with each other. If not, Tyler Lockett's been better. You know,
Whenever Tyler Lockett plays the Cardinals, he's booked the over 150 yards. Book it. That's just how it works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude is. I mean, he's legit. He's got. I mean, he's a great one of the better deep ball runners in the league. You know, he's a weapon all around. He's been doing it a long time too, and he has been getting money. You hate it as a fantasy owner, but you love him on your team if you're a Seahawks fan. You know.
Yep.
Yeah, he's one of these guys. Like he had probably like a 40-point game. He'll get like a 5-point game next week, but like he'll still catch some bombs and really make you pay. Yeah, what a guy. Really underrated though. Really underrated.
Severely.
All that for Titans Seahawks. Any more points?
no. Move
All
pretty
right.
over to
Good shit, Titans. Seahawks are the only team in the NFC West with a loss.
Yeah. Cowboys Chargers. How about Micah Parsons, baby? What a guy. What a guy. Don't like it.
What was he picked 10th?
Yeah. You're like, come on, guys.
I mean, me and Fallon, we're both Penn State fans. Huge. But are we crazy to say that was a steal?
he's the best defensive player, if not best player in the draft.
Steal
I'll
the
be honest.
draft?
Yeah. I mean, like okay,
at
right.
10?
Outside non-quarterback player. I mean, obviously quarterbacks are going to have a bigger impact, but like, don't overthink it here, guys. Like,
And the thing,
he's
the
legit.
Cowboys are using him right, too. He's the type of guy you just put on the field and let him play.
Yeah. Yeah. That whole week 1, I was really frustrated with like, they were like rotating him
put
in.
him on
They
the
were
field and
platooning
you
him
let
like it
him
was
play.
baseball. And like, guys, they played better with him on the field, no matter where he's playing. Like, he's too good to do that. He's your best linebacker. He might be their best defensive player. I think he had
Yeah, as
8 or
long
9
as
pressures. I mean,
Lawrence is hurt. I don't know how long he's out for.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, kid is legit. I mean, wherever you want to play
you could
him.
argue.
Yeah.
You could argue that if he continues his progression up, that like the Cowboys actually lucked out with all the corners getting taken before them, because who knows, those corners are sure things. You know,
Yeah.
Exactly.
The corners are
Still
so
played like a
streaky too. Yeah.
That's look good. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, anywhere he's played. I mean, he's played great. He played him on the edge. I think he played a majority of his snaps at the edge, but I mean, he's just so explosive and finish. He doesn't miss tackles, and he's so explosive in his range to be able to cover. Even if he's not, no one says he needs to be a monster in coverage, but he's around the ball. He's got great mobility. He really can do everything you ask out of that linebacker.
You call a guy's versatile, but he really is versatile.
Yeah. Yeah, and I get some people are clowning on Twitter like I guess the tackle was like a backup tackle, but like dude was making plays regardless. It's an NFL lineman out there.
DN since high school.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah, he and he was playing some up rushing linebacker role, and that's a great role for him on the on the end of the line, on the line of scrimmage. But like he was playing a majority of snaps. He was playing a lot of defensive end. I'd say he could be a NFL running back too if he wanted to, but what a player. Herbert, where's the magic at, man? But
okay, no, Herbert had his moments. He also made mistakes too. I mean, it seemed like he made some magic, but he also canceled out with dumbass like decisions.
Yep.
Is what happened.
Yep. A couple turnovers.
And I can see right now, talking about the Titans Seahawks, like at the end of the fourth quarter, they were playing to lose. Like both teams didn't want to win. The entire game, the Chargers and Cowboys were just like giving the other team opportunities to win.
Oh, right. No, it's not that. That's not like the Cowboys offense didn't have a Cowboys offense day. Dak wasn't the world beater throwing all over the place. I mean, they ran the ball well, but it wasn't, it wasn't that Dak Prescott. You're like, oh my God, they're throwing the ball all over. How do we stop it?
Mm-hmm.
Sloppy game, but the Cowboys pull out, keep it in that division hunt. That's a good win for them because the Chargers are, they're a good
Chargers have a lot
playoff.
Of high expectations.
Their ceiling is 9 to 11 wins. It's not a bad team to beat. They're stacked at all levels. They got playmakers on every level of the ball.
They got star power.
Yeah. Yeah, they've got a really, really well-rounded roster for sure. All right.
Yeah.
We'll keep on moving on here.
Chiefs Ravens.
Yep.
Yep.
What a choke job.
That's what I'm saying.
What a choke job.
So hard.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs look mortal, bro. The Chiefs look mortal.
I mean, I don't know if I want to go that far.
Well, okay.
They won
top
the game
teams,
because of the lucky fumble.
Yes. The top teams.
Repeatedly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's beatable. I mean, that's how you have the Chiefs have to make mistakes. They are still the best team in the AFC. Well,
there's no question about the only team in the NFL that's going to straight up beat the Chiefs is probably the Bucs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Every other team, you got to rely on them beating themselves.
Chiefs got to make mistakes, and you have to play a all but perfect game. Like it's just the reality of it.
Real quick to the Lamar hatred that you guys are going to see from us. First of all, I mean, people are just forgetting about those two awful interceptions in the first part of the game.
Yes.
Like he just literally I mean, what was going on there? I mean, he's doing these nifty runs and stuff like that. But I mean, if you play certain teams have athletic,
well, look at last year in the playoffs. I mean,
I'm playing right now. It's not.
It's just not sustainable football. Like you don't win high level football games playing like that.
It's
like,
cute.
Yeah, it's cool.
Nobody's gonna say Lamar's a bad football player.
He's so limited in his passing game.
If you make him be a traditional quarterback, he
hasn't stepped up to the table yet. He hasn't. Every opportunity he's had, and teams have made him be that drop back passer. Like he still hasn't. He needs to be able to beat teams as a drop back passer if he wants to win big ball games. They can be cute and beat teams running the ball, and they have a great defense, But to me, this is still the same team that they were last year, except they don't have an explosive run game outside of Lamar.
Yep.
Yeah. Defense doesn't look too bad though. Rapid's gonna, he thinks Jason Owe is like, God's gift to football, and settle down now. You got a lucky.
He's made a couple big plays his first two games, but those are one singular play. I don't know how he's done.
He is a very inconsistent football player. He's got to take time to develop. And don't get me wrong, he's got all the tools you want, but call my Bills bias, but I think Rousseau had a better week last week, but whatever.
We'll call it bias.
Okay. All right. Go Pack, go. They smashed the Lions. Aaron Jones
Didn't
put up
expect
big
much
numbers. Yeah, I think
I
we
mean,
all.
if you thought Rodgers was done after week 1,
Yeah.
you're an idiot.
Yeah,
You're an idiot.
yeah.
It was a
it's-
big. What was his quote? Relax.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Like, don't bet against Rodgers. He's been doing it too long. Don't
By
bet
the
against
way,
him.
how much of an idiot is Colin Cowherd? For once, I just see in my feeds him calling Cowherd.
What was his
hating Aaron
take?
Rodgers. He was just shitting on him, like saying he was like not a good leader. He was like causing drama like that. Like, bro, he just dropped fucking what was it, 4 or 5 tutties yesterday?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he looked great. He was like 22 for 27. Like,
Yeah.
man, he was. I mean, of course it's the Lions, but coming off a loss like that and
The
getting his shit
Lions
together.
tough. They played a tough game. I mean, they're a tough team to
Break
beat.
your kneecaps.
Yeah, they're
They
trust
have
me.
heart.
They're not a great team, but they're a tough physical team. They're like how Miami was last year. You know, they're not a great team, but like they play tough. You know,
They play
they're
with
gonna
heart.
you're gonna have to prepare for them. You gotta buckle up your fucking chin strap and play. You know, they're not gonna roll over.
Yeah,
So-
of course. But as far as I'm concerned, if you think Aaron Rodgers is a cancer of the Packers organization,
No.
I think it's the opposite. I think Aaron Rodgers is the organization of the Packers, and the management is honestly the cancer. If you're being real here.
Yeah, absolutely. The problem is with the Packers is they have no ownership, like accountability and ownership level, because like the fans own the team. So like there's no either owner pressure or, owner that sets expectations on it. It's like a group. You know what I mean? And I think some of that throws it off.
Some weird committee shit they have
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah. It's don't get me wrong, it's cool that like the fans own part of the Packers. But like
Air quotes.
some of it is ownership. Some
Yeah,
of it is
air
ownership.
quotes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Well, that's all the game.
I think that
It's
wraps up our week 2.
Yeah, sure does.
Do you guys
Quick
have any
one?
other takeaways?
No.
Okay.
I'm ready for this debate. I'm ready for it.
All right.
I didn't do any research. It's just this is all heart. This is
Okay.
all heart.
We love heart. All
Whoever
right.
has heart.
All right. So, Mike, you're more than welcome to stay on for this. But our next one, new year, better season. We're going to be debating 2 quarterbacks. Pretty familiar with them. Matt Stafford and Josh Allen. Who's going to have the better season? Some of
I'm not
this.
going to stick around for too long. I'll just give you a quick answer.
Oh, I
right
know
now.
you're going to pick. You're going to pick against me. And that's respectable.
No, I'm going to pick Josh Allen.
Really?
Oh shit!
Really?
Yes. I'm as high as on Stafford as the next guy, as Trevor probably will be, as you'll probably will all find out in the next 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But the season Josh Allen had last year, I know Stafford, what was it, last week? Where he fucked us in the parlay.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't look great. He didn't look all that. He wasn't bad. He just didn't look great, in my opinion.
He didn't.
Now, being
Right.
said, expecting Josh Allen to improve on the season he had last year is
Not
just
very
unrealistic.
realistic. Not realistic.
But you ask me to start a franchise with Josh Allen or Matthew Stafford, just the players, not
okay,
regarding scheme. Josh Allen's the guy. So that's all. That's my take on that.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'd agree with that.
Wasn't
But
expecting
the
it.
tournament is a better season, So we're
Wasn't
gonna go
expecting
with
that, but I appreciate the
Better
love.
season, I think it's going to be. I think they're going to have very comparable seasons. If you're
Mhm.
asking me that,
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair
I
enough.
think they're going to have
I
very
can-
comparable seasons.
Well, and 2, let's be
season.
fair here too. Between the 2, they both play on really good football teams. They're both on the Bills and the Rams are top 5 football teams.
Oh yeah, for sure.
In terms
Yeah.
of talent and overall roster depth, they play on really good football teams here. Like Rams with Jared Goff were a good football team. The Rams with Stafford, they're a 10 or 11 win team.
They're Super Bowl.
and
That's
they
what
both-
people.
Yeah.
It's you can argue it's a push. So
Uh-huh.
Stafford doesn't have really an elite number one, but he's a plethora of receivers. Josh Allen's got Diggs. You got Sean McVay in LA. And on Sundays hate Brian Dable, but right now you could acknowledge Brian Dable is a very good offensive coordinator.
Mm. I will acknowledge a couple
Bills
points.
offense was
I will
anemic.
acknowledge a couple points, and that I think he's one of the main factors in Allen taking that big jump. The thing is he calls a great game for Josh Allen and some of his strengths, but there's a lot of play calls I question that he either tries to get too cute or, he doesn't utilize how I think the team is built. But
you're gonna have that with these innovative guys, that,
right? But some of the other stuff too, like some games we just don't. Not trust me. Don't get me wrong. I'm not bitching that we don't commit to running the ball, but some games it's like we've got to switch it up. Like Steelers game week 1, it was literally just 5 linemen on the field, go empty set and hope you get the ball off before TJ Watt and Cameron Wake smash Josh Allen. Like let's at least keep a back or tight end in and switch it up a little bit instead of. I think we had like 10. I counted 10 QB draws on top of the scrambles. Like you're getting a little too cute here. Like. Some play calling like that, bad trick plays, but whatever.
But on to the debate, anyways. I'm gonna go ahead and start off. All right.
Okay.
I think Stafford.
All right.
I think Stafford all around. Remember, this is not taking what Milky Buggy said is like starting a franchise. This is who's gonna end up with a better
year. You look at it. You're ranking these quarterbacks. You're saying Stafford's at 4 and Josh Allen's at 6.
Yeah, that's some shit like that, right?
Right.
So here's what I think. I think he's right. It is very close. That's why we picked these two guys. I don't think either of us was going to compare like Mahomes to Josh Allen, or like you weren't going to take like I don't know, a lesser quarterback like Ryan Tannehill or Stafford. We know the range. We're not idiots. But anyways, I think Matthew Stafford. I think it's going to take him a little bit, just like Tom Brady, to get in the system. And you would argue like, well, it takes some time. How's he gonna have a better year? I think by week like 6 or so, like coming towards the bye, he's gonna tear a fucking new one. And I think he's going to start. I mean, if you start unloading on teams, to be honest with you, I think Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. I mean, he's been using the fuck out of Cooper Kupp, man. I mean, and just having Sean McVay having a quarterback that's actually capable of him talking to him and like making the reads and actually like understanding coverages. I mean, when he was talking to fucking Jared Goff, he was spoon feeding him shit and he would still get fucking coverages wrong. It would miss the reads. Like, and now that he's an actual competent quarterback, I think you actually like people are forgetting. They're not forgetting, but like they're kind of thinking other coordinators are better than Sean McVay by a margin, like a large margin. Like they think Kyle Shanahan's like completely good, which I too. They think he's like several legs up from like Sean McVay. But I would argue like having Jared Goff is just such a big setback.
Right.
I mean, he's just not what you're looking for from a quarterback mentally. That's what Sean McVay needs. So Stafford's got the physical traits, the mental traits, and I think he's going to take it to a next level. I mean, he already has week 1, week 2, fell off a little bit towards the end of the game, but I think he's going to fucking have a great year. I think he's going to finish. I mean, that's a tough division. But the way it's going right now, the way the Niners have looked, not incredibly fast to start. I would say they're at worst going to finish second, but I think they could definitely finish first and make a real run to the playoffs. Year 1 with him, by the way. Year 1 with Stafford.
Year 1. You got to respect it. Run game took a big hit when Cam Akers went down. McVay loves his run game.
Darrell Henderson's not bad. Sonny Michel's okay. It's not the huge drop-off. You know how running backs are.
Henderson's good. Michel's good. But I think Cam Akers is a big hit for him. But trust me, they're by no means going to have a slouch of a season. To me, the way I look at this too, I'd argue I think Josh Allen's going to take a little while to get busy here too. He had a poor week 1, inconsistent week 1. He had an inconsistent second game. I think it's going to take him a couple weeks to figure this thing out. I think by when we play Kansas City in week 5 or 6, he'll be on top of his game, and the Bills, they've had a lot of, not that they've had much turnover, but it's a pretty timing oriented offense with some of the stuff we do in our passing game, just simply to make up for the fact that we don't run the ball a lot. Allen's looked a little inconsistent. Trust me, he has not looked, terrible, but he's some plays he was making last year he hasn't been making now. I think, he's one of these guys when he focuses up and he gets pissed off, good healthy year, no injuries yet. Everyone stayed good. I think he's gonna figure it out. I guess I was a little unrealistic in thinking that he was gonna be the MVP favorite, but he still can win it. And I think Josh Allen can still win the MVP, and I don't think Stafford is capable of winning an MVP, and that's my thoughts on it.
So, one counterpoint I would like to say is I think Josh Allen's got a lot of growing to do. I think he can't be an MVP caliber quarterback by the end of his career, but I think he's got a couple years. So he just figured out how to use his actual physical assets last year and how to completely navigate the field. And he's got some actual pre-snap and post-snap cognitive awareness now, right? We've seen that development. However, I don't think it's on the level of Stafford, and I don't think he's going to get there this year. He's still a young quarterback. You really didn't even see that development until last year. And I think, like you said, most quarterbacks that break out, you always expect a regression to the mean. And I think Josh Allen's going to have that this year. I think it's just going to be a little bit of a reeling back. Not so much he's going to be a bad quarterback or even closer to his former self. I think he's still going to be near that top level. But I just think he's going to pull back a little bit. I think defense is not that they're going to adjust him because you can't really adjust to a guy like Josh Allen, but they're going to be more prepared. Teams last year weren't expecting Josh Allen's resurgence. They thought they were going to play the Bills, Josh Allen, mediocre quarterback. And kind of hits you out of nowhere when Josh Allen, no one expected that resurgence. So now defenses have a little more time to prepare about what the fuck they're going to do against Josh Allen,
Oh, well, no, totally. Defenses have changed their game plan. Last year, when they started bracketing Diggs, Beasley was that guy that's making plays. And now you're seeing a lot of bracket coverage versus Diggs and Beasley. And they're forcing the Bills to basically say, who's your third option here? Because we're going to stack our safeties up behind corners, and we're just simply not going to let Beasley and Diggs beat us. It's not that we have who is that third guy when they're taking away Beasley and Diggs? Because last year, Diggs, he had the year. But the thing people still forget is Cole Beasley had a very, very good year for who Cole Beasley is and what he brought. Great. He was, in my opinion, the best slot receiver in the NFL last year. But, you could say guys are better out of the slot, but in terms of slot receiver and what he brings, now teams are really keen in on Diggs and Beasley. Last week, for example, we killed the Dolphins last year on crossing routes. Defenses adjust to it. Obviously, you look at the box score. That's not a game you watch for the box score because it probably could have been 50-0 if you really watch the game. It's just Allen missed.
You guys
missed a couple deep balls.
Proud of you guys. Very easy bet, by the way. Fuck
yeah,
Dolphins.
Allen missed a couple deep balls, but Emmanuel Sanders has got to come down with some of these too. He's been okay, and Gabe Davis is hurt. One of these guys is going to have to step up, really be that third option when teams want to key in so heavily on Diggs and Beasley.
It's an argument about who's better between Stafford and Allen, not what receiver needs to step up for him to be good.
No. Trust me, it's not that. No, it's not that he's not good, but if one of those guys steps up and is a legit weapon for Allen, it's MVP season. So,
yeah, but if you want an MVP, you shouldn't have to ask for a a quality receiver. Russell Wilson, he's not going to have one this year, and he's got 2-star receivers to be fair, but and he's in the race for MVP every year. But well,
do you think DK and Lockett are better than Diggs and Beasley?
I do think that.
Yeah, I think so
Diggs
too.
Is better than both of them. I think Diggs is better than both of them, but I think the two combined is better than obviously Beasley and Diggs. But in terms of Stafford, man,
listen,
he's got a lot of talent too.
they're not as talented. They might be a little deeper.
That means they're more talented because I think
Diggs has won some games for the Bills last year on his own. No one on the Rams offense is winning games that they shouldn't win. Their defense is built for that.
Yes,
and it's not because of Stafford back there at quarterback.
It's weird. I guess it's a preference thing because once Diggs is out or you bracket Diggs, it gets tough. Beasley's good, but we're not talking about receivers here. We're talking about play and who can make the most of it. I also think that people forget that Stafford, because he hasn't really done it this year so far, but he can play out of structure too. A lot of comparisons for Josh Allen. Like when people before Josh Allen broke out, right? People said like his ceiling was like a Matthew Stafford type, strong arm, a little bit mobile. I mean, he's much more mobile than Stafford, in my opinion. But that was his comparison, like a more mobile Matthew Stafford. He's got a can of an arm.
Big Ben.
But I think people forget that Stafford can improvise. And if you think about Stafford and his best moments with the Lions, right? Him carrying that squad, comebacks in the fourth quarter, driving. I don't know if you remember this, but it was like had to be like 6 years ago or 5 years ago, something like that. It was when Stafford was young, after Calvin Johnson though. He was playing against the Cowboys, and he just drove down the field. I think he clocked the ball with like 3 seconds left on the goal line. And no, he didn't clock it. He told he was gonna clock it, and then he fucking did a QB sneak over the goal line and fucking won the game. And it was incredible. I mean, Matthew Stafford just had so many like key game-winning drives that are memorable as fuck against decent teams or quality teams even. But people just forget it because they're like, oh, the Lions got an upset. But they forget that Matthew Stafford's the one that carried them on his back. I mean, know the talent around him, limited talent. And it just he's got escapability, and I think he's gonna start showing that. And I think how he's played so far right now is not even close to how good he can play. I think he's played good with Sean McVay and like he's done great. But I think if he plays as good as he was when he was carrying the Lions and combines that with actually have a support system with Sean McVay, I think you'll start seeing that around the middle of the season. And I think he'll be like MVP caliber quarterback.
I'm gonna disagree. I think Josh is gonna stay healthy all year, and I think he's gonna figure it out. So defense looks good. Josh is gonna,
right.
We're gonna have to agree to disagree. Otherwise, this will be a 3-hour-long podcast.
No, I agree. We'll have a vote in the comments section. Have people watch this? I know not everyone can watch this as it's live, but that's what it's always recorded too. So
right.
They can watch this back. We'll have a little
check
vote.
us out on YouTube, YouTube.com/Rejects Radio. Look for our little
if they're
logo.
listening to this right now, they'd be on the video. But let's move on. Let's go ahead and get this last segment done since we're running a little long
Week
here.
3 picks.
Week 3 picks.
I got them up Sunday.
Yeah,
Wait, we'll start with Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah. Thursday.
Tomorrow night.
Panthers Texans.
So this is an easey one for me, right? 8 points looks a little intimidating, but then you remember the Texans are out of Tyrod Taylor. I would say if Tyrod Taylor's in, I'd avoid this because they're definitely the line is hiked up from the Panthers having a big win against the Saints. But you look at it, man, and if that defense is playing like it does, and they're going against Davis Mills, you can say goodnight, dude. First of all, Davis Mills' first career start, and second of all, Sam Darnold looks good, and the Texans' defense hasn't looked amazing at all. It just looks not as bad as you thought it was going to be, which is not enough to cover that 8-point spread, in my opinion. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game, which worries you about the 8-point spread, but I'm going to take the spread, honestly. The money line is too shaft for you to take that. I'm taking the Panthers on the spread for that game right there.
I'd take the Panthers too. I agree with you. Football team versus Buffalo. Is it in Buffalo?
So
I think it's at the football team.
I got this at 9.5 earlier in the week. Because 9.5 points is a lot of points for a team that's got good pass rush, and the Bills struggle with that against the Steelers. However, what worries me is that Taylor Heineke drops off a cliff against the Bills and does not play as good against the Giants. And then that spread becomes a little more. I think it's more about.
It's in Buffalo.
Oh shit, that too.
Well, listen too. Look at the Bills' defense this year, though. That defense has played really well. That defense, it's weird. They're playing like the 2019 defense with the 2019 Josh Allen.
Yeah.
But if you remember, that 2019 defense damn near carried them for a majority of the games. That defense is playing. And we've got some pass rush too, with our younger guys taking the next step up. I'd take the Bills though to cover.
Yeah, I'd 9.5. I take Washington because it's just such a big spread for a team that's not bad. And I think has a decent matchup. But in terms of 7.5, that's cutting it too close, and I'm avoiding that. Honestly, I would say no bet at this line. But if I had to pick between the two, I'd pick the Bills to cover 7.5.
Okay. All right. Bears at Cleveland.
Matt, the Bears fan, said it himself. He said the Bears wouldn't get fucked up by the Browns, and it's only a 7-point line. And I think it's going to happen too.
I think the Browns by a touchdown. Yeah.
The Browns. First of all, they looked incredible so far.
Played
And
their
the,
tails
the
off.
Bears, dude, that defense is not what you think of it anymore. Like that old defense of the Bears, it's not the same. It's not that defense. Forget about it. That old Bears defense, when they first got Khalil Mack and everything was put together, they had Kyle Fuller. It's gone, man. It's gone.
Yeah.
It's not there anymore.
Yeah, not that. Not it.
It's not. So
That
I'm
defense is
taking
not carrying them.
take the Browns and the points.
Yep. Ravens at Lions.
Oh, man, just
What's the
because
spread?
the line, it's 9. It's 9
I'm
points.
taking the Lions.
You're taking the lines, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no bet for this, but I'm. We dislike Lamar, but I mean, first of all, when your main source of offense is running the ball, and the Detroit Lions, I mean, they got ran all over by the Packers, but I mean,
It's a physical football team.
they're a physical football team with like Dan Campbell mentality, and I'm just not gambling a running team against. I mean, obviously you're gonna favor the fucking Ravens. I think the Ravens are gonna win, obviously, but it's just too scary to pick that 9-point spread. I could easily see the Baltimore Ravens covering this, but I'm not going to bet on it.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Colts at Indianapolis.
Shit, man. 5.5. I know Carson Wentz is kind of his ankles are tweaked or whatever. But dude, the Titans. I know they ran all over the Seahawks, but they didn't look that good even that game. And before that game against the Arizona Cardinals, it looked like shit. 5.5 points is a lot of points for a Colts team that just came razor thin against the Rams. So I think you take those points easily take those points. I already got a couple parlays with the Colts. So I take those points. I know Carson Wentz is banged up and a little not himself, and he's a little. He's a little mobile quarterback, likes to improvise, but so it's going to hurt him a little bit. But I think he can play in structure, and I think he can get this. I think he can cover the spread. I'm not going to say he's going to beat the Titans, but he can cover.
Yeah, going Titans there. Chargers at Chiefs. What's the spread?
I'm avoiding this with a 10-foot pole. It's 6.5. That's not even a full touchdown. You're playing the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I don't care that Justin Herbert looks good. I think the Chiefs look way better. And I like the Chargers a lot, but I don't like them to. I mean, especially with the high scoring. Like if they were good low scoring teams, it'd be one thing. But they're high scoring teams.
You need to keep pace with Mahomes, man. You need to.
Yeah.
That's how you beat them.
Yeah.
You have to keep pace with them and hope they make a mistake.
And when they're constantly scoring touchdowns, I'm just not going to take a line that's less than a touchdown. Yeah. I'm not doing that.
With how quickly they can score and games can get out of hand quick with them. You've got to take the Chiefs on that.
I say no bet, but you take the Chiefs with the points if you had to.
Here's another interesting one. Saints at New England. New England hasn't been world beaters.
No.
I mean, they haven't been flashy either. They played a not very good Jets team, and they barely squeaked by Miami. Trust me, by any means, I don't think that Patriots are... A lot of people are picking the Patriots to top the Bills for the division. It was like 25%. I mean, I'd say maybe 20% Patriots, 10% Miami, and then 70% Buffalo. But, I mean, the Patriots have not looked what people thought they could be. Against not great competition either. Now, the Saints aren't going to walk in there and smack them around. Bill Belichick's going to confuse and make Jameis Winston have a very rough game. I will bet you my life savings on that.
Yeah, that's the key factor, isn't it? If Jameis Winston's turnover prone, he's playing Bill Belichick. That's a red flag in itself.
Right.
If you're betting, first of all, I'm not going to bet in this game. But if you do and you're betting on the Saints, you're an idiot. All right. I think that the Patriots have a much better chance to win this. Than the Saints, and I think it's mainly just because of the defense.
Yeah.
Low scoring game.
Yep.
I think you take the under, even though it's at 42.5. I think it looks going to look ugly. I think there'll be turnovers. I think Mac Jones could even throw a couple picks and still come out with a dub.
Yeah.
But either way, I'm not taking the game. But if I had to, I'm taking the Patriots. I'm taking the Patriots on the money line. I'm not taking the points.
Okay. What's the spread?
It's 2.5.
Ooh. Oh my God! I'll take the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
Your boys, the Falcons, coming to the New York Giants football in the toilet bowl.
Toilet bowl, yeah. 3
You got to
points
win
spread
it
for
if
the
you're a
Giants.
Giants fan. Got to
Giants
win
are
it.
favored by 3 points, which is it's kind of crazy. But you know what? I've always liked Matt Ryan, but he's been not even doing as good as I thought he was going to. His O-line has been looking rough. Now the Giants defense looks like shit too, but their offense also looked good last game. So this is gonna sound biased, right? But I'm taking the Giants and the points this game. You gentlemen bet my team, but I did include them in one parlay. And I don't know, man. Just the Falcons just look so shit. And I mean, they're also Matt Ryan's old, man, and I just don't think they have any motivation. The Giants also they're kind of defeated too, and they got some locker room issues, but at least they're a younger team and they have much more to fight for than the Falcons. And I think that's going to help them this game. And they're also at home, So I think
Going with them Falcons, baby.
Yeah,
Going with them Falcons.
To cover or to win outright.
Outright.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. See what's next.
Bengals at Steelers. Oof.
Oh, 3 points.
I don't
for
think
the
Ben's
Steelers?
playing. I think Ben's hurt.
Is he really?
I know he tore a pec. They said he's like questionable.
Perhaps I should have looked at that before betting on this game, because I bet the hammer on this game because I was like, holy shit. All I saw was 3 points. I mean, to be fair, Ben hasn't been doing the best for the Steelers anyways, but
they might be better with another quarterback.
I think that the stretch, depending, because their backups are no good, I'm pretty sure. But against the Bengals, man, you're giving me it's only 3 points, man, and you just saw like the Bengals just got fucked up by pass rush. Like they just got fucked up by pass rush, and fucking Joe Burrow looked shook. He threw fucking 3 or 4 picks. He threw 3 picks in 3 plays.
Yeah.
And I mean, he could rally back and have like a vengeance game, but he would if he wasn't playing another team that was just like worse than the Bears. The best pass rush in the entire league. So I mean, if you go from the Bears last week to this week, he's not going to be ready for it, man. And I think 3 points is honestly not even enough. That's
Can the Steelers break through and get their run game going in it? That's going to be helpful for whoever the hell they want to line up back there.
Yeah, I think you take those 3 points and in a heartbeat.
Arizona at Jacksonville. I don't even know what the line is. I'm taking Arizona.
7 points. It's only a touchdown. Yeah, 7 points.
Taking Arizona.
You take those points, man. You run with
Absolutely.
those points. I mean, the way Arizona's been playing. I know that you got to win against the Vikings, but they're no slouches, and they still played good. Jacksonville's looked like shit, man. They look like shit. Urban Meyer's not done great. Trevor Lawrence, I mean, he's got talent flashes, but that's all it's been is flashes. He hasn't shown enough that he can win a game.
Yep. He's got to be able to put it together consistently.
Yeah, and you could say the trap game, underdog. No. I mean, I know it's 2-0 versus 0-2, and it's like, well, it could be the game just because people tell themselves like this is such a convincing win for the Cardinals. Somehow it's a trap game. No, I just don't believe that's the case. They're not going to take them lightly. It's week 3. If it was like in the middle of the season, you could be more worried. But it's week 3. They're on a tear, and they're ready to keep fucking up teams. And the Jacksonville Jaguars are shit. I'm taking 7 points, and I'm putting that in my parlays every day of the week.
Absolutely. Jets at Broncos. I'm taking the Broncos. I don't even know what
Broncos
that is.
Was 10 points. It's 10-point line though. They only beat the Jags by 14. So they're a low scoring team. 10 points is a lot of points for a low scoring squad, even though Teddy's look good.
I'm taking the Broncos.
Words. I don't bet this game at all. I can see them covering 10 points, but I'm not betting this game. I mean, I'll take the Broncos too. If I take a money line, I take the money line, but it's just not even worth paying. But anyways, next game.
Miami at John Gruden at the Death Star.
Oh man, I love this game.
The Oakland Raiders, or sorry, the LA Raiders. Jesus, I keep calling them the Oakland Raiders.
Las Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Raiders.
So 4 points is kind of a lot, to be honest.
They might play better with Brisket at quarterback, though.
That's when I saw 2 was out. I was like, oh yeah,
the fighting Brisket, man, dude. They honestly obviously they didn't have a great showing against the Bills, but they played better with Brissett. They played better with him at quarterback. It probably hurts if you're a Miami fan, but he doesn't have Fitzpatrick to bail him out, and Brissett is just a consistent quarterback. I don't know. You know what you're getting out of him. Yeah.
Right? If you're a better, you're worried about like the backup coming in and stealing the reins and actually like showing up. Like I thought about this like, oh, Tua's not lit, and I was like, maybe a worse backup's gonna come in. Then I heard Brissett. I was like, I mean, he's might be better than Tua.
They flashed his stats, and like, I mean, obviously he's not gonna, he's not throwing for 400 yards and slinging across the yard, but
he might not lose you the game as well.
I mean, but like, they get some big plays out of those wide receivers. Not that they run the ball consistently, but their defense creates a lot of takeaways. Like, you can make some noise happen and squeak out a game.
So what you're hoping for here is that the Raiders ride that momentum, number one, and number two, the Dolphins, the Raiders defense has regrets. I think really this game is more of the Raiders fucking it up than it is the Dolphins winning. But I'm still parlaying this. I'm still taking the Raiders in the points. If I'm being honest with you. I mean, you might want to take the money line if you want to be a little more cautious. But I'm taking the Raiders in points. I think that blowout loss is only gonna like honestly fuck with the Dolphins' heads more.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
I don't think it's
I mean, you think of like the Dolphins, like last year, end of the year, they had everything to play for versus the Bills. The Bills sat their backups and blew them out. I'd be pissed too if I was a Dolphins fan, and then they come in and lay a fucking egg. It's not even like the Bills played great. Like if the Bills played better, they'd have put up 50 points. Like they just didn't compete. It's as simple as that. Next. Their offensive line is in shambles. You're taking the Raiders. Tampa Bay versus the Rams.
Avoid.
Yeah,
this is a great game to watch, not a great game to bet.
Yeah, we're gonna avoid it. Who are you picking?
This is a great game to see. I'm gonna, dude. I want to pick the Rams, but like I said, I think Matthew Stafford's gonna take a few games to get it going on. It's so hard to pick against the Bucs, dude. It's so hard. I mean, I'm taking the Bucs. I'm taking the Bucs on the money line if I had to bet, but I'm not going to. But I mean, I think the Bucs are going to win it. You could have got it at they were actually underdogs when the lines first opened up. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bucs, but I'm not a betting man. But I wouldn't bet on this game. Seahawks at Vikings. Can the Vikings rally and win another one?
Dude, the Vikings and
I should
Seahawks
say win, get their first win. I should say win when there's. I think the Vikings. You got to take the Vikings, dude. It's in Minnesota.
This game screams red flag for both sides. I'd take no bet for me, but I think. Oh man, I don't know. This is so tough. They both are coming off crushing losses at the same exact time. Man, I'm gonna take the Hawks to blow past that Vikings secondary.
Okay, all right. Last two games, you got Packers at Green Bay. I'm taking the Pack. Packers at Green Bay. Packers at 49ers.
Yep.
San Fran. Pack.
I got this game at with Green Bay underdog at 4 points, and I was like lit, and I took that immediately. It's still at 3 right now. I would still take that. 49ers have been slow to start, man. I expect a lot more of the 49ers, but they've been slow. And if you're going to beat Green Bay, you gotta show some offense. And against Philadelphia, the 49ers did not look great. I mean, against Detroit they did, but I mean, I don't know, man. It's kind of weird. But I'm taking the Green Bay Packers to the points, not the money line, but the points.
Right, taking the Pack. Last one, Philly at Jerry World.
NFC East game.
Taking the Cowboys.
NFC East game.
Cowboys will win this one and then lose it when it's in Philly, whenever they play next.
Yeah, that's why I wouldn't bet on this one. But I'm going to take Cowboys with the points. Actually, no, I'm taking Cowboys in the money line. Sorry, Cowboys in the money line. But that's why it is scary because it's NFC East game. These guys usually split kind of like the West. I'm not fucking with it. But yeah, but that's our picks. I'm gonna go ahead and give you my parlay of the week, man. I made a few, but I got a 3-team parlay right here.
Mm-hmm.
The one I'm most confident in. I would say Colts 5.5, Raiders -4, Steelers -3. Man, those are good bets.
Okay, fair enough.
And I like that
Steelers. Now you've talked to me more about it.
I got the Steelers at 4.5, which is actually worse odds, which is unfortunate for me if they win by like 4 or whatever, man, that's gonna suck because they would have covered the other line, but I kind of fucked this one up. I did it too soon. But either way, man, I'm still confident, and I think that's the bet to do is Raiders, Colts, Steelers, all spread. Those are good odds, man. And I think you can take that and I think you can get some money.
Yeah. There you go. I'm not a betting
No.
man, but Trevor makes some money gambling. So as always,
All right.
if you have a gambling addiction, just call the hotline 1-800-GAMBLER. You'll get help you need, and they'll connect you with local resources. And do it where it's legal, please.
Dude, you're eventually gonna hit that parlay, bro. Don't stop gambling. You're eventually gonna hit it. Just keep gambling.
Yeah.
Waste all your money away. All right.
Actually,
all right, guys.
perfect timing, man. We just hit the 1 hour mark.
Oh, nice. That's cute.
Not
We should
too
end it
bad.
right now.
Yeah, we should
Dude.
end it. So we're gonna end it now. Thanks for tuning in.